So we just did a team outing for work where they took us all to go see the new Hobbs and Shaw movie, which if you don't know, it's a spin-off from the Fast and Furious films, which I will admit I'm a fan of. I liked them. If you're going out for a depth of story and character and everything, you could probably find something a little better. But just for the sheer action and insanity and just over-the-top stuff that can be done in a film, Fast and Furious is probably one of the best series for that. Crazy car stunts, everything defies physics and gravity and logic. So I thought, let's do a top 10. No. So let's do a 10 must-see action films. Honestly, there's no top 10. There's so many good films out there. There's so many cheesy films. Everything has some kind of charm to it. Everything does. So I'm going to do 10 action films that you should see. And you should tell me about some too. If you know some good action films, please put them in the comments below. Send me trailers, anything. I want to check them out. Everything. Action films are great. And just to show you how much I'm into action films, check this out.
This future's not all it's cracked up to be. Secret police, televisions that watch the people who watch them, drugs and violence, and dead psychics who are used like cell phones. This whole tripped out planet's gone mad, and they call us crazy. Watch as 2012 becomes 1984. I wonder what happens next.
I don't know if you recognize the hair. Alright, 10 kicking films, kick it off. The first film on the list, none other than John Wick. John Wick 1, 2, and now 3. All amazing films. And I kind of feel like the first John Wick kind of went under the radar for everyone. There weren't a lot of people who knew about it. I didn't even know about it. I wandered into the Dollar Theater with some friends of mine in El Paso, and they were like, let's go see this movie that happens to be playing. So glad that we saw it, and since have been a fan. Saw the second one, saw it there all in theaters. I think I saw the first one in theaters twice. It was the Dollar Theater, but it's worth seeing twice. There's even a guest appearance from none other than Kevin Nash, Big Daddy Diesel. If y'all know, I'm a wrestling fan. And a wrestler. Keanu Reeves is probably one of the best action movie stars ever. The Matrix was great, Point Break was great, Johnny Mnemonic was a lot of fun, Chain Reaction. The guy just really throws himself into action sci-fi beat-em-ups. It's just good. It's just good. The next movie is one that not a lot of people have heard of, called The Raid. Now honestly, I kind of feel like when you watch the first Raid, it was all just about the fight choreography, which in that was some of the grittiest fighting. The most believable in terms of the unbelievable things they did. I mean, there's one scene where a guy's fighting, he runs and he tackles another guy over, and as he knocks him down, catches him by the belt, pulls him up and he hits his face on a table. No wires, just crazy. Just craziness. Easily some of the best fight choreography you will ever come across. And I know I just said John Wick has some great stuff in it too, and it does, but this hand-to-hand combat, not a lot to the story, I will say. Story could have been better for it, but honestly, you didn't even need it. It was just go watch it. Now, the second Raid, the sequel to it, was, I believe, what came from the popularity of the fighting in the first one, and they really, really outdid themselves on the second one, because it was then about story, about the aesthetics, and still about the fights. Just pause this and go watch it now, because those movies, The Raid, great. Mad Max Fury Road. Now, y'all know, I know if you've been to any of the shows and you heard me yell out, "The Witness!" It happens. It happens. I really did enjoy that show. And the entire thing, what was so impressive about this particular Mad Max is the entire thing is almost shot on moving vehicles. It's all on trucks and cars and motorcycles. And it's just, the movie itself is just all shot in this way. And there's not a ton of dialogue in the movie, especially among the main character and everything. Max really doesn't say much, but he doesn't need to. It's all in the actions and everything that he does in the way, like the facial expressions, everything that kind of happens with it. It's almost like the environment is one of the characters. Fury Road, easily one of my favorite films. Going back to that just out of this world gun choreography is Equilibrium. And that is a Christian Bale, Taye Diggs film. The entire film is kind of based on Fahrenheit 451, which is that in the future, You know, everyone, since mankind is so chaotic, can't get a hold of itself, it's so much more focused on its hate than its own self-preservation. The government has taken over and decided to give everyone medicine that kind of suppresses all emotion. No emotion, so everything artistic goes away. No more books, no more music. They find, there are these special police that go out and they find all the artworks and books and everything and they burn it. Well, of course, this guy decides to stop taking his medicine. Things ensue. There is the gun kata, which is insane. Which anyone who's ever taken any sort of a karate class, martial arts, you know the kata. The gun kata is just definitely worth watching, definitely worth looking up. Now, y'all already know I'm a Jason Statham fan. I mean, The Mechanic, Transporter, 1, 2, and 3. The Italian Job, Expendables 3. Sorry, Expendables 1 and 2. So, of course, this had to make the list. Crank. Crank 1, Crank 2, the series. Another one that is just so over the top and so comic book, yet it's so grounded in its effects. It's not really a big, CG heavy wires and everything. It's just more, almost you could believe it's happening to this guy. This guy gets so beat up, you just assume he's the toughest guy on the planet, and that he took all of these hits in real life, that they threw him out of these cars and off these buildings, and he did fall out of the helicopter. But, watch the movie. You'll know. Also, all the Tool fans out there would appreciate the fact that Maynard makes a little guest appearance in there with his shot collar and his roommate, which is hilarious. Amy Smart is another one who's just great in this film. She plays such a good, ditzy, but still strong fighter girlfriend. Even got a guest appearance from Chester from Linkin Park, who... Rest in peace, Chester. And honestly, Crank knew it was so ridiculous. The film knows that it is just over the top, so much so that this may be a bit of a spoiler, but all of the characters that get killed in the first movie come back in the second movie as different characters, just, with blonde hair, or they're tattooed up, or something changed in that, but they just reuse the same characters as new villains and everything. Another amazing Thai film is Chocolate, which is a 2008 film, not to be confused with Chocolat, the French film, but this one came out 2008, and it's another one similar to The Raid in terms of the stuntmen are also the actors. So everyone that you see getting hit in this film, they're doing this for real. And there's a whole behind the scenes at the end of the movie where they show how all of the main actors, everyone was just bruised up, cut up, all the work that they went through to make this film. It's an autistic girl who learns martial arts by watching movies, and she watches all the classic fight scenes over and over, and then she goes out to collect debts in the mob for her gravely ill mother, and she goes out and just beats up a bunch of mobsters and gangsters. There's a capoeira scene in it. There's a lot of Bruce Lee reference to it, Jackie Chan reference. The fights are amazing, and it's starring Jija Yanin. I think that's how you say her name. The lady is an amazing fighter. She can't weigh more than 100 pounds, and she's got to hit like she's 500. So this next action film was a French film originally, District B13, also known as Barrio 13, starring Cyril Raffaelli, who is just his free-running skills are what really caught my attention the first time then seeing him in this movie. And of course he co-stars in it with David Bell, who, one of the founders of parkour, the guy who's... Their stunts in this are just so off the wall, and of course a lot of it's parkour based, so it's a lot of escape scenes, running along walls and diving off of buildings. Neither of them are big guys, but they have so much presence, and they have so much power in everything that they do. It's what made that film amazing. It was also later redone. I believe it was Brick Mansions. They did an American version, and they nearly did it shot for shot, honestly. They even had David Bell in it, which was... good and bad, I think. The RZA was in it, which anything the RZA's in, I love that guy. He gets into so much, and he does music for so many underground things. RZA's all good. But the one you want, District B13, Barrio 13. If you're any sort of parkour, free running, Ninja Warrior, American Ninja Warrior fan, you're gonna dig it. Absolutely. Collateral. Jamie Foxx, playing a cab driver stuck in a rut in his life who just happens to, of course, pick up a hitman. And it's Tom Cruise playing this gray-haired, kind of sarcastic, overly intelligent hitman who's just in Los Angeles for the night trying to do his job of shooting people. Doing his hitman work, hitman stuff. Also got a guest spot from Mark Ruffalo in there, playing a detective who, I won't spoil the storyline for you, but his part, It got me a little bit. It got me. Also starring Jada Pinkett Smith, who does a fantastic job at playing this very straight-edge individual pulled into this bit of chaos. There's even a scene where you learn a little bit about Miles Davis. Oh, now let's talk about Old Boy. Not the remake starring Josh Brolin, which, honestly, I like Josh Brolin. Anything that he's in, he's usually pretty solid. I didn't hate Old Boy, but it did not stack up to the original. The original Old Boy starring Choi Min-sik. God, I don't know what it is about that actor, but everything he does I just like. He did Crying Fist, the boxer movie. Very sad film, but very good film. Worth checking out. But Old Boy has probably one of the best just single shot fight scenes in a hallway involving hammers and like 50 stuntmen ever. That scene alone is worth watching the movie. But the entire movie is great. It has this just crazy twist to it that I feel like a lot of Asian cinema loves to do. Is it just, here's where the movie's going, here's what's going, oh, by the way, here's the ending. Just kidding, it's not done yet. And they just take crazy turns in it. Stuff that sometimes a little much, but it's also a little good. Definitely recommend original Old Boy. Choi also had a small part, if you ever saw the movie Lucy, done by Luc Besson. He was the main bad guy in it, even though he didn't really have a huge part in it. And last but not least, because you know an action list wouldn't be complete without at least mentioning Jackie Chan, Mr. Nice Guy. She's running around, bad guys are chasing her, she collides with our hero, the chef, Jackie Chan, and her tapes get mixed up with his tapes, and all of a sudden the mob's after him. Comedy action ensues. There's a whole fight scene in this construction building where Jackie uses a wheelbarrow, a ladder, buckets, pallets, everything except the kitchen sink. There might have been a sink, I don't quite remember. He is probably one of the most amazing environmental fighters I've ever seen. Anything around him then becomes this tool for his art that is Kung Fu. And there you have it. 10 must-see action films. In no particular order, check them out. Look up the trailers. They're all worth seeing. And of course, Edison Bomb, which I'll add to the whole back in the day series I do on Thursdays. Just throw something out there so people can check it out. I was actually pretty proud of the Edison Bomb there. There was a while where I was going on tour in the Southwest doing music, and I would take this with me, take it to different rental stores and ask them, hey, made this film. If you guys maybe want to take it, just rent it out to people. Surprisingly, about 5 or 6 stores picked it up, and they were like, cool, we'll advertise, we'll rent it out. And on occasion, I'll still hear about people who watched it somewhere in, New Mexico or somewhere in Texas, Arizona. They picked it up. Super cheesy, of course, but a little bit cheese never hurt anybody. If you got a movie you think I need to see or that anybody else should see, please feel free, put it in the comments, share it with us. I want to get all the action film recommendations. Anything that you got on it, I want to check out. Send me trailers. And as always, if you're digging the video, if you're liking the other videos, you like the music, anything going on in the vlog, please like, subscribe, and share the video. It's a big help to creators like myself. Honestly, people, word of mouth is what really keeps us going and what gets us out there and enables us to keep doing what we're doing. But I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I'll catch you in the next vlog. I think the arm fell off. Watch yourself. Watch yourself now.